Hello and welcome to our Art Hugs Online Watercolour for Beginners tutorial. In this class we are creating an owl. Here's what you need to get started. Either go get it at the shops or alternatively visit our shop online and buy our art home pack. Your task for today is our lovely fluffy owl. Let's get started. Grab your pencil and let's draw our outline of our owl. Follow along with me, and if you need to pause the video, do so. This isn't a race, and if it doesn't look exactly like mine, that's perfectly okay. This is your creation, so you need to make it your own. I'm doing some outer circles on my owl's face just to give it a bit more dimension. If it's a bit tricky for you, don't stress. Just do another big circle around the other two circles. Same with the nose. I'm adding some extra bumpy bits on my nose, but if you just want to do a triangle or a straight long rectangle for the nose, that'll work really well too. We're adding some wavy lines to make it look like the owl's fluffy, and we're going to put some paint in there afterwards to add that texture and bring it to life. But we're just doing the basic lines so we know where to paint. Now for the more fun part, we're going to start adding some colour. First I'm going to do the eyes. I'm going to use my black watercolour paint. What this technique is called is wet on dry technique. That means that we're not wetting the paper first, we're just wetting our colour and then we're putting it straight onto the paper. Do both eyes and make sure you leave the little circles that you've done inside the eye white. Once we've finished the inside of the eyes, we're going to leave the next circle and work on the outer circle using black. This will make the really bright part of the eyes that we do after stand out even more. So we've used our watercolour, and now we have some pastel colours that we've prepared that we want to use on our owl. I'm going to grab a darker colour pastel and I'm going to do some scribbly lines all the way across the top of my owl's head. A lighter colour now, and I'm going to scribble a different colour into where I've just scribbled my darker colour. You don't have to do this, and you can do it 2 or 3 times with different colour pastels. It just makes it look like it's a motley colour owl. Then I'm going to do the rest of the owl outline in the same pattern. You can follow along with me as I do it, or you can watch it first and then go back and do it yourself. You choose these colours for yourself. I don't care if the owl is purple or pink or orange or yellow. This is your creation, so make sure that you make it original, or alternatively, just do what I do. I'm working with dark colours and light colours so that it's easy for you to follow along with. The lighter colours I'm doing inside my darker colour, and then I'm going to also add a little pop of colour on the tummy. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to grab our cotton tips and we're going to start to make that owl a little fluffier. This next part is super fun. So after we've finished doing the tummy and outlining under the mouth, we're going to grab our cotton bud and we're going to start flicking the colour, pushing down and flicking up to make a fluffy effect on our owl's outline. We're going to do that in all the areas that we've put these lovely pastel colours and really smudge it in and use that cotton tip. If you run out and it gets too fluffy, get another cotton tip and repeat the process. We're using a lot of equipment while we're creating this, and that's what makes it so super fun. So next, we're going to grab our sponge. So this could be a kitchen sponge. It doesn't have to be a sponge from my art pack. And what we're doing is we're going to create another texture on top of our owl. Dipping that sponge in the water and then dipping it into a color that you want to create for the inside of your owl. And we're just going to dab it onto the owl's surface. If you want to watch me do it first, do so, and then rewind it How good is this looking, guys? Now we're going to use another color and we're going to repeat the process. Normally I work with a lighter color first and then I use a darker color on top. The reason I do this is because with watercolor, you can't go backwards once you've done a darker color to cover it up. Lighter to darker always. Be a little bit messy with this. It doesn't matter if it runs into other colors or into other areas of your artwork. It's part of the effect. And then, if you don't like a lot of that water there, scrunch up the tissue you've got and dab some of the excess water off. Next, we're back to using our paintbrush again. Now, I love bright yellow because owls, they're nocturnal, so they're a nighttime creature, so they need to be able to see in the dark. So let's brighten those eyes for them using a bright yellow. Wet on dry technique for this one, so we're just wetting the actual paint that we want to use and we're popping it straight onto the dry paper. Remember, use that tissue to dab off any excess water that you don't want mopping around. And then next, we're going to actually focus on doing that beak. Now my beak's going to be orange because I feel like it's a nice complement to the bright yellow, but you can pick whatever color you want. We're going to do that in the same technique that we've just done the yellow of the eyes. To make that beak stand out, I'm just going to do a darker color underneath to make it look like a little mouth. You can pick whatever color you want for this, but if you're doing an orange beak, I'd suggest using like a nice dark brown just to sit underneath and make it pop. Using the same color that you've done just underneath the beak, we're going to make the feathers on the tummy stand out a little bit more. So use that same color with the wet on dry technique and just do some little wavy lines to make it look like it's feathers on his tummy. You can do the same thing on the sides like I've done, where I've added little pops of brown just to make it stand out a little bit more where I've done all the dabbing with my sponge. You can do this with any colour you choose, but I like to use the colour that we did on the tummy to make it all complement each other. Finally, we need to create a background for our owl. You could leave it white if you choose, or use pastels to colour it in, but I'm doing a wet on dry technique and I'm just going to do a nice blue sky background. It could be nighttime in yours already and the owl is wide awake and ready to go on adventures, or you could have trees, you could have a moon in the background. Be creative with this one and make it your own. Now our owl is finally complete, but there is one important thing that we have to do to make it our own. Grab your pencil and sign that beautiful signature on it to show everybody that you created this artwork. Congratulations, guys. Amazing art. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next lesson. Art hugs to you all.